Welcome everyone to my first redstone tutorial on this channel. I asked you guys about a month ago if you wanted to see redstone tutorials and you guys said yes, so here we are. Today we're going to go over the basics and generally a simple to more complicated pattern, or whatever you call it. So we start off with redstone dust. This is the very basic stuff. This will carry your charge from one side of your redstone contraptions to another. And then we move on to the lever. The lever gives a charge of 15, whatever you call it. So that lamp over there is 15 blocks away, and it's lit. As you can see, as it goes on, the redstone dust charge decreases until it's almost dead. And then we move on to the buttons, which is very similar to the lever, except it's not toggle, it's just click it and it's done. Now there are two buttons here. There's a wooden button and a stone button. Stone button gives a shorter charge. It goes the same distance, but it doesn't last as long. Wooden button lasts a bit longer, as you can tell. Then we move on to the pressure plates. Got the wooden and the stone. These are activated when you step on them. Now these charge for the same amount of time. Now something about these wooden ones that is different from the stone ones: you could shoot the stone ones and nothing happens. You shoot the wooden ones and it activates. Shoot the wooden ones and it activates, although it will not deactivate until you take the arrow off. Same thing with the pressure plate. See, nothing happens to the stone. Now we move on to the repeater. The repeater has three basic functions. It has the delay function. That is 1 tick right there. You can move it to 2 ticks, 3 ticks, and 4 ticks. There are 10 redstone ticks in a second, so one repeater delays for 4/10 of a second. And then the second function is the locking function. If you drive a charge into the side of this repeater will lock. So this can be off, but this will still give a charge. Once you unlock it, then it updates. You can also lock it in the non-charge cycle thingy-majigger, and it will not give a charge. And the third function is to extend a charge. So that repeater over there is 15 blocks away. Turn on this lever. As you see, the dust is dying out until it's over here, and it's all refreshened. We move on to the redstone lamp. Now, I thought this would be also a good place to show the difference between a soft charge and a hard charge. If that's the actual terms, I have no clue. I kind of doubt it, but that's what I call them. Now, a redstone lamp, it's basically like your typical lamp. If you give it a charge, it'll light. So this is a hard charge, where you're charging this block directly, and it is charging this redstone dust as well. So it'll go through the block to the redstone dust. Now a soft charge, so this stone is hard charged, and this is soft charged, but it still lights up. But the difference is, you can't draw power from that source right there. I hope that makes sense. Then we move on to the redstone block. This is basically just a movable source of a redstone charge. You can move it with the piston, which will be explained over there. And then we move on to the redstone torch. Yeah, that thing. This is not a movable source, but it is a source, and it gives the same charge as the redstone block over here. But something you can do with this that you can't do with the block is you could turn it off by putting a charge into a hard charge into the block that the torch is on, and the torch is turned off. Now we move to the iron door. Very, very, very simple. Now you can't open this with your hand, but if you give it a redstone charge, it opens. You can give a redstone charge to any other door as well. It'll do the same thing. Now we move on to the tripwire hook. You just put a tripwire hook over here and over there and string between them. And when you step over the string, it gives this stone a hard charge and this redstone lamp a soft charge. Very simple. This is very good for redstone traps and stuff like that. Now we move on to the daylight sensor. The brighter it is when it's in... okay, first of all, it has two modes. It has daylight mode and nighttime mode. If you want it to sense for daylight, then the brighter it is, the brighter the light it is receiving, the stronger the charge. And the opposite is true for nighttime. The darker it is, the stronger the charge. Now we move on to the observer. This has a face right here, as you can tell, looks for updates over here. If it finds an update, it'll give a 1-tick redstone charge. So, give it an update, give it a charge, take it away, gives it another charge. Now the next one is the hopper. These come in very useful for sorting stuff or just picking up items in general. All you have to do is throw some blocks on top of it, it'll catch it, and it'll put it in the chest below. And the same thing happens here. As you can see, it's draining, and it's going to this chest over here. Another thing you can do is you can do what's called a hopper lock, where you give the hopper redstone charge, and it stops draining. And then we have the dispenser and the dropper here. Now the dispenser will, say, shoot an arrow at you, it'll place a bucket of water, place a bucket of lava. It has multiple functions. Whereas the dropper will just drop it as an item. For example, I have arrows in here. As you can see, that arrow was shot by the dispenser, but the bottom one just dropped it for me. And then here we have the piston and the sticky piston. These are very similar. Piston will push a block, but a sticky piston will also bring it back. Now these can push up to 13 blocks, I believe. And then what we have here is the minecart rails. This is the powered rail, which will just speed up your cart. It's powered by redstone charge. This is the activated rail, which will kick any entities out of a minecart, also powered by redstone. And then in the middle there is a detector rail. If there's a minecart on top of it, it gives a redstone charge. So right here, I have a simple circle with powered rails. It'll move the cart endlessly. And then here, I have a circle with an activator here. So let's just put a cow in that minecart there. Push it along. As you can see, it kicked the cow out as it went over the activator rail. How unfortunate that I died. Now what we have here is the target block. This is pretty much brand new in 1.16. What you do, I don't know if it has other functions, I'm pretty sure it doesn't, is you shoot it with a bow. It'll give a quick charge, and the charge strength will be proportional to how close you are to the middle. So you get the edge, not much of a charge, but you get a bullseye, pretty strong charge. Now we move over here to the comparator. It will put out, if it's in this mode, edition mode, it'll put out the same signal strength as it receives. So it's putting out a signal strength of 15 there. But another thing it does, if I can get this out, is it can, so yeah, it'll detect things like occupancy, stuff like that. Or it'll also detect what page you're on a book. Right now it's getting no signal. You just set the book down and it gets a charge of 1, which you can see here. But if you go through this and make it go through the pages, it will get stronger with each page. And this is a distance that I don't remember. And then what you do is you can just take that off. Voila, all taken care of. This will also detect how much stuff is in this chest. So if we put 1 stack in, see it gets a small amount of charge. Put 3 more stacks in, gives a little bit more charge. Put the rest of the stacks in, and it charges this. So the signal strength varies dependent upon how full this chest is. It can also detect how much water is in a cauldron. When it's full, it gives a charge of 3. However, if you take some out, 2, 1, 0. Another thing you can detect is how full the composter is. So if we start filling this up, it starts getting a little bit of signal strength there. Fill it up all the way, and it goes over there. Now we go into the modes of the comparator. This is set for subtract mode. You can tell because this little light is on. Just like this, it'll give the strength that it receives, 15. However, if you run a signal strength of 14 into the side, it'll only give a signal strength of 1. Basic subtraction. And then we get into the note blocks. So there's 2 things you do with a note block. The block you place it on determines the instrument. What I have here is wood, sand, glass, stone, and grass. And they produce different sounds, as you can tell. And another thing you can do with the note blocks is you can change the pitch. And these are great for making songs. Now, this right here I got from a tutorial by John0201 Musicraft. I'll leave a link in the description. Just make a little tune. So on that note, that is all the basics that I have set for you guys. If you like the video, please like the video. Consider subscribing, please. And if you want to see any more Redstone tutorials, you can go on our Instagram page, request them, or you can just request them on the comments below right now. and I will most likely actually do it, because I'm looking forward to doing this type of stuff. Now, the more complicated stuff, I might have my brother Jacob do them, because he's a little bit better at redstone than I am. But for most of the stuff, it'll be me. So, have a good one, guys, and I'll see you next time.